And the question of the day is, what do you value today? What do you value today? Yes. Welcome, my friends. My name is Fred. Here we talk about business investments, real life, and training, all from my personal perspective. And this question, what do you value, is very open, but at the same time, extremely personal. And the truth is, what we value changes over time. It changes depending on the phase of life you are in. It changes with age, experience, responsibilities, and awareness. What I value today is not exactly same as what I value 10 years ago. And it's definitely not the same as what I value when I was 20. And the thing is, for most of my life, I value work very deeply, very deeply. Work was identity, was purpose, and was self worth. I strongly believe in the idea of realizing yourself through work, building things, creating projects, taking something that didn't exist and turning it into something real. And to be honest, that part is still true. Work is one of the best things in life. Through work, you create, you build, you grow, you leave something behind you. There's something deeply human and meaningful about working. And here's where things get more complex. I'm currently transitioning out of a phase where I value work too much and moving toward a phase where I'm trying to value other things more. Not because work stopped being important, but because I realized something uncomfortable about myself. Recently, I finished a construction project, and it hasn't been that long, just a few months. So, right now, I am in a phase where I'm not working constantly, and in theory, this should be great. I should be enjoying the freedom, enjoying the time, doing things I always said I didn't have time for. But the truth is, I struggle with that. And even though I can slow down, the fact that I'm not working all the time still bothers me. And that made me realize something. I carry a judgment inside me, a kind of internal prejudice. It's like a subconscious belief that I'm not working all the time, there's something wrong. This is a strange contradiction. When you are working non-stop, you dream about having free time, you think, if only I had more time, I would enjoy life more. But when you finally get that freedom, you realize that work gives you structure, gives you meaning, direction. Work grounds you, grounds you. So the problem isn't work itself. The problem is turning work into the ultimate measure of value for me personally. Here's an important point about how I see life. I don't believe in a nihilistic worldview. I don't believe that nothing has meaning. I don't believe that life is random or uh, pointless. I believe there are objective truths. I believe life has a purpose, even if that purpose is not fully clear. My perspective is more traditional. There is meaning, there is direction, there is something higher to aim at. Within that framework, work is extremely important. But it is not the final objective of life. Work is a tool, it's a path, not the end, not an end in itself. The goal of life is not simply to work. Depending on your perspective, the goal might be growth, evolution, love, connection, meaning, or something we may never fully understand. There is mystery involved, and that's okay. because that's the way that life is. That is what it is. But realizing that work is not the ultimate goal helped me to understand why I need to rebalance what I value. There is a very practical way to understand what someone truly values. Look at where their attention goes. What you give your attention to, what you value, not what you say, not what you post, not what you claim. Your time and attention tell the truth. So, for example, I am divorced, I have two daughters, and they spend a lot of time with me every day of the week. That alone says a lot because time is the most valuable resource we have. I could be doing other things. I could be focused on other projects, working more, but I choose to spend time with them. That means something. It shows value. If you want to understand what someone values, look at how they spend their time. But what about people who have no choice? So, now let's be fair. Some people are working non-stop, not because they value work above everything else, but because they have no choice. They need to pay bills, they need to survive, they need to get by, they need to keep things running. And that's a different situation. If someone is working all the time just to stay afloat, they are not expressing values. They are responding to necessity. So, this idea of attention equals values applies better when a person has some degree of freedom. For someone with a relatively normal routine, life can be roughly divided into three blocks of 8 hours. 8 hours working, 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours of free time. The work hours are fixed, the sleep hours are necessary. So, the most revealing part is the remaining 8 hours. That's where values show up. What do you do with that time? Do you, for example, sit on the couch every day, exhausted and numb? Spend time with family, train your body, learn something new, reflect, build relationships. Of course, this isn't perfect math. Life includes commuting, eating, responsibilities, basic needs, but even then, if you spend 1 hour a day with your family, that already matters. 2 hours is even better. 3 hours consistently puts you far above average. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. I am 46, soon I'll be 47. And whether you believe in spiritual realities or not, something becomes very clear at this age. Time is finite. When you are 20 or 25, this feels abstract. At 46, it feels real, palpable. You understand deeply that time is not unlimited. And this awareness only grows stronger with age. That changes what you value. It forces you to ask better questions. So, where am I today? I'm trying to reduce my internal judgment about not working all the time. That's the core issue. I'm trying to enjoy life more consciously. I'm trying to rebalance what I value, not by rejecting work, but by putting it in its proper place. Work is important, but it's not everything. Time matters, relationships matter, presence matters, meaning, and learning to see that clearly is part of growing. So, I will leave you with the same question. What do you value today? Not what you value in the past, not what society tells you to value, but today, you. And if you want to answer honestly, don't just think about it. Look at where you put your time and attention. Look where your attention is going. That's where your values truly are. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I really like to hear you. Thank you very much, my friends, and see you in the next video.